we were having a conversation last week, Joel, about George Ford and his brilliant drop goals in the first half of England's first game in the World Cup. Obviously, you're not a stranger to big drop goals and big moments at the World Cup. A bit of an absence of them in week two. Did you get your hopes up after week one and England and think, right, we're back, 1995 is here again?
1995, 2003. So I think the drop goal is... I mean, I'm not a fan of it. I mean, I don't like to see lots of drop goals, but I think there's a point in the game where it does become a way of either deciding a game or under pressure accumulating points. And George Ford changed that whole game in the space of, 10 minutes, whatever it was, with his three drop goals. It was 3-3, and that just put Argentina on the back foot. The fact that one of the Argentinians tried to kick a drop goal 25 minutes later almost meant that they succumbed to the pressure. I thought it was just a few minutes of absolute brilliance. And as much as it wasn't a pretty test match to watch, a pretty World Cup game to watch, it certainly was a game where there was a bit of initiative taken from a player, 14 men down, who realised that there was a way to get points on the board and change the game. It was a brilliant performance from George Ford. That's
the key thing, isn't it? Taking the initiative, because I'm not sure if this is the situation or not, but looking at your career, Joel, am I right in saying that two of your test drop goals out of three total for playing for the Springboks actually came in that World Cup final? So this wasn't necessarily 100%. Something that you were doing week in, week out for the Springboks. It was really in the most important day of your career, you turned to the drop goal more than ever.
Exactly, and Kitch Christie had spoken about it in the build-up to the World Cup, and he'd asked me why I don't kick more. I kicked one in the opening game against Australia purely because there's absolutely nothing else on, and we were in front of their poles. But the crux is it's either a match decider or a points accumulator. The other side of it is sometimes you kick good ball away to take a drop goal, and there are other better options in terms of how you can make use of that ball, particularly against structured defences who put you under a lot of pressure. I don't see that there'll be a whole load more in this World Cup. I think teams will build pressure and they'll force penalties rather, and kick to the corners and be, I guess, I almost said more traditional, but maybe more traditional of how we've seen it in the last 10 years of the game being played.